Can you hear me, Matt? Hi, mate. We've gone live already. I was getting into a panic thinking that I hadn't quite got all the timings sorted out. Can you hear me, Matt? Hi, mate. We've gone live already. Let me know when you can hear me, mate. Looks like he's still setting up. Now then, how does this work? Check out the 44-year-old trying to work out how live streaming works. Can you hear me all right, Matt? Oh, I can't hear you. What's going on? Hang on, that might be my audio this end. Let me just check. Let's have a look, see why I can't hear you. Oh, that's why. Speak, Matt. Can I hear you now? No, still not getting any audio from you for some reason. Can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Now then, what am I doing wrong?
Okay, you're good. You're good. Good. I got everything. I'm hearing you. Can you hear me? Are we good? Are we live?
Yes.
We're live?
Yep.
Awesome.
Be working. How are you, mate?
Good. And sorry that I am jumping on very late to get things kicked off. I will make sure that we have it rocking and ready a little bit prior to send off for live events when we are mid-tour.
Yeah, no, it's partially my fault because I thought East Coast time right now is 10:30, but it isn't. It's like 1:30 your time. I think is that
no,
right?
No. It's 10:30 my time right now.
What? So because if you look online, it's telling me that right now it's 1:30. Oh well.
That's probably East Coast time, and I'm on the West Coast.
That'll be why. That's not going to help.
But the time stuff is tricky because I'm always like, are you guys on Greenwich Mean Time? Like I never know.
We're on British summertime now. Yeah, so
I don't know what that is.
No, exactly. Why would you? Yeah.
But then work, I have crazy work meetings all the time, and I block my schedule, but they don't pay attention to that. So these work people expecting me to do my
getting
job.
in the way of all the fun and everything else that we want to do. How's your video gone? So you had a release straight out today, literally in my feed this morning. It's like Matt LeGrand, and then immediately underneath it DC Rainmaker, and there's like a stream of new products coming.
What's most important is that I'm a little bit ahead of DC Rainmaker because that's
you were 1 minute ahead of his
okay. So that has nothing to do with me being better than DC Rainmaker, although it's
he watches all your videos.
He does. He watches some of them, and hopefully he doesn't watch the one that I made last night at 2 a.m. because it looks like a video that someone made at 2 a.m. But it was a rough night, and basically, any company that we're reviewing product for, if we do get like a pre-release product, we'll get basically a time where we're allowed to release our video, and they just have basically, a set time where everyone kind of says they call it the embargo is over at this time. And so that was whatever time all of our videos went live. So
8 o'clock UK time, I think, something like that. It was early. Yeah, it was great. So I popped open the laptop and it was just, this huge explosion. So it seems to be going well though. So can someone let us know in the chat? I know there's only a couple of people watching, which is fine because it is only a bit of a test really. But can someone let us know in the chat whether it's coming across okay? I can tell there's a little bit of a delay from what you and I are doing to what I'm seeing on the screen, which is like 10 seconds or something. So
really? That's not much, because usually for the YouTube chat, I see a delay of something a little bit closer to like 2 minutes or something.
Oh, really?
It's quite a bit. Yeah.
Let me see if I do this. And then we'll see.
Can you see? See it over? It's probably less than 2 minutes. And it also probably depends on how busy YouTube servers are as far as streaming stuff goes. So
there you go. That's like 30 seconds, something like that. It wasn't very long. Yeah.
Okay.
Not too bad. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it's never going to be sort of bang on, but it doesn't make any difference really to us because we can just cut away and stuff. So it seems to be working okay. This is kind of cool.
Yes. How is training going?
Well, yeah, it's going well. I
was going to ask, do you start a taper? Do you taper for this? Like a big, or I don't know what to do. I don't know what you would do for something this big.
No, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I spoke to you briefly about it, and I spoke to Mark Threlfall from GTN about this as well.
Yeah.
How, if I do a big block of training and I go out with the club at the end of that big block of training, expecting to be in pieces, and I'm dropping them on the flat. I mean, the climbs, I'm still like 100 kilos. So, you know, the climbs and stuff, they're kicking my ass. But when we're on the flat, you know, I'm just pulling and I'm feeling really strong. And and then I have a day off. And then the day after I have a day off, I feel like I've got some kind of lead running through my blood. You know, my legs feel so heavy. So I don't know really. I think what Matt suggested, in fact, you did mention this actually, but what Mark mentioned was just to leave a bit of a gap before I start, just to do whatever I want, just to wing it completely.
Wow, that's smart.
Yeah, you know, just if I want to go out and ride hard, I'll ride hard there. I might go and do a TT up at Castle Combe, or you know, I might do a couple of 100K rides just to keep the legs turning over, but not have any plans. But last week was a 600K week, and then this week we're going away tomorrow for a couple of nights. And I don't want to take the trek because we're camping, and so I'm going to take the old Boardman, which I haven't ridden for a while, and it's just a tank. So I don't really want to kind of go out and do 3-4 hour rides. So I'm just going to find some hills and do some hill reps. So this week I probably, you know, will be about 300K, I should think, by the time I finish. And then next week I'm off to Brecon to do some recons for those stages in the hills. And do some training there, and then that will be it. So next week's kind of like my last sort of proper block of training, and then the following 2 weeks leading up to it, it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. I'll just do whatever I kind of feel like doing, I guess. So
I think it's good.
Taper? I don't know.
What do you think about those days off? Are you thinking about spinning a little bit? Like, I think that's going to be good for you. I don't know. I mean,
I'm wondering whether to do these in conjunction with a Zwift ride.
Yeah, totally.
A Zwift meet up and do this as a Zwift meetup. Yeah, that might work. And then that'll be the video for the day, done at the same time as turning my legs over. I was thinking of only like half an hour, 45 minutes on the turbo. But if it's anything like today, I don't want to do it on the turbo. I want to go out and actually ride outside, because it's like 28 degrees in here.
Wow.
That's at sea. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit, but
that's getting pretty hot. It's actually hot here, which is random. It's just, you know, it's probably actually similar temperature for us right now. We're just having like a little bit of a heat wave.
Yeah.
But that's going to be good because you can ride in the morning. Oh, we don't get a lot of humidity here, which is
yeah, we've got it's really humid, but then it's been quite stormy. But yeah, I was up at 5 this morning, right? Well, I think I left the house at like 10.
I saw that storm on your last video where you're just like looking off to the side. You're like, it's coming. Here it comes. Yeah. I thought it was going to be clear today.
When it actually arrived, when I was kind of editing the video, I was like, I really should have filmed the storm, because it was pretty dramatic. But you know what it's like when when you're riding in the rain, you just do this, you blinker in, and you just kind of I didn't do that. But yeah, it rained. It definitely rained. But we're getting weather like that where it's either really nice and sunny, or it's just grey and crap. It's just typically British weather. Sometimes it's just so grey. But yeah, it's hopefully the weather will stay dry. That's the aim for the end of the month and then the start of next month. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about it. I'm just nervous a little bit about the things that are going to scupper me is if I get too excited at the beginning and ride too hard, and just the incremental toll of the climbing. Because I've had it on a spreadsheet, right, on my laptop, the whole thing, right? Literally.
I think I saw a whiteboard. That's
yeah,
that was
it's here.
like highlights.
Yeah, so So everything's been on a spreadsheet until now. So I can only see like 5 or 6 stages, but you know, and I'm scrolling through, and then you kind of do that, and you go, shit. Like that's a lot of, you know, that's a lot of riding. And
that's a lot of riding.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so awesome. I'm really excited for it. I actually think you're gonna have time of your life. I mean, you're gonna be exhausted, but it's gonna be a really cool event that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And what's the official kickoff date? I know I should know the start of the tour.
26th,
okay.
Saturday the 26th of this month.
So soon.
Yeah, soon, really soon. And then yeah, so the first, there's like 9 days straight before a rest day, but the 5th day is a TT, which I was going to go and really go at it hard, but I think I'm going to treat that as a rest day too.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm gonna,
a lot of the tour riders are going to do that. A lot of the tour riders are going to be like, what's the cutoff going to be? Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I'll just literally ride to power.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering if you maybe should ride to power for those, you know, almost those first 9 days and just be like, you know, I'm not going to go over, I don't know what the number would be. Like, I'm not going to ever go over 250, or I don't know what the wattage would be, but you know, something like.
I think if I could get over some of these climbs under 250, I think I'd be track standing at the weight I'm at. I need to put out something to get over the hills. But do you know, heart rate is the thing I think that I'm
maybe,
looking at.
What do you have a heart rate strap?
Yeah, the Wahoo one actually that you recommended a while ago. I've always used Garmin ones. No, not the wrist one, not
just the regular
the
ticker or whatever. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That'll be great. You know, those are going to be the most accurate, and so I think that's going to work.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
What is it with the Garmin ones? I mean, they work great, and then they just stop working for me. And is that sort of pretty intrinsic to all the heart rate monitors, that in the end they just kind of give up because of what they're doing? They're just sort of close to sort of sweating,
right? So any sweating, right, is going to be bad for corrosion issues. So there's all these like different heart rate monitors. Some of them are fancy. You can swim with them and it'll record the data internally and kick it out. I think depending on which Wahoo one you got, you know, one of those can do that. But I've reviewed one, like actually there's actually 2 or 3 just like on Amazon that are like super cheap, like $30 or something.
Really?
And here's the thing, like, as long as if you just need it to transmit heart data from your like chest, like those are fine.
That's all.
And then if they die, $30, right? Yeah. Whereas the one that I have, and I actually have like, I don't know, probably over 12. I have over 12 heart rate monitors hanging here because I've been testing them. I went through a whole bunch of testing with them, and any strap is going to be accurate for the most part. You got the key is like, you know, adding some sort of lubrication to the actual strap itself so that it gets a really good connection with your chest. Other than that, you get really good data. Wrist stuff is not going to be accurate.
No.
And I have like, you know, quite a few cheap ones, and I'm like, these work. And so, you know, you just put them next to the trainer and you can just grab them and put them on wherever you want. And I'll probably give some to some friend. Like a friend of mine was like looking for a heart rate monitor. I was like, I have a whole bunch of these that I tested. You can have one. And then I have this really expensive one from Garmin, over $100. I think it's $125. And it does everything. It's great. You can connect to multiple devices. You can swim with it. It actually does like running metrics. It's called the Garmin Hrm Pro. Great heart rate monitor. Probably the best one on the market. But do you really need to spend that much money on a heart rate monitor? I don't think you do.
That's crazy. So, that's a lot of money, isn't it? Yeah, I've got one of the ones that
the Wahoo one's like $60. I don't know what that would translate to for pounds, but like it's probably something similar to that. That's gonna be great. Yeah, I like that one because it has these indicator lights, whereas all the other heart rate monitors don't have that.
Yeah, it tells you, it's doing it now, isn't it? Or was it?
Great. That's good.
Yeah. The other Garmin, I just kill them. I always keep them. One day I'm going to get around to cleaning up the contacts and stuff, but they never.
You can try changing out the batteries and trying to clean the contacts, but I have a bad feeling that, you know, once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to try and ride, certainly, for the first like 9 days, try and keep the heart rate kind of under like 130 or something, like average.
Oh, that's good. Average. Okay.
Yeah, and not at all times.
Not
I think
total.
There's gonna
I was gonna say, man, that's, you know, when you hit those hills, it'll be hard to go that slow.
Yeah, I won't be able to stay upright at those sort of speeds. But yeah, there's some big rides in there. The 7th day is 100 miles. So
is that the one you're most nervous about?
That one so I've broken it down into blocks in my head of So obviously there are like 3 sections with 2 rest days in the middle, right? So the first one is 9 days, but the TT's in the middle, so that kind of almost makes it like 4 days. Yeah. So it's almost like there are actually 4 blocks. So in that first section, yeah, I'm a bit nervous about the sort of 2 rides after the 100 miler. I think that's going to be, you know, and then there's a rest day, and then after that it's okay. There's a couple of long days in the next block, but then it's over to Brecon, and you know, you're doing sort of 90 kilometers or 100. I think the longest one is like 110 kilometers, but there's like 2,000 meters of climbing in that, and it's not like alpine climbs where you're kind of doing like 3 or 4% or something. These are steep. Yeah, they're you know, these are kind of Welsh mountains where there's a couple of really nice climbs that, you know, people that know kind of Brecon will know things like Black Mountain and stuff. They're really lovely climbs, and I'm looking forward to doing those. But then there's things like Devil's Elbow where if you get it wrong on the corner on Devil's Elbow, it's not even a case of not being able to start. You just fall back down. It's like 25% on the corner. And you know, I rode up it in 2016, and I've got a picture of my friend David he's weaving so much he looks like he's pulled in from a junction on the side of the road. He's literally going horizontal across it, and so I don't know quite why I'm doing that. If I'm honest,
it's good. I mean, you've got some challenges.
Part of the reason for going next week, right, to Brecon is just to kind of look at them and go, is this a really good idea to put this climb in? Because I don't have to, you know, as long as I get the elevation, I don't have to go up these walls. You know, I can pick some nicer climbs and get the elevation. So I've never been.
You should do it. I think it'll be cool. I mean, I like big hard climbs. It's very easy for me to say. I have one of those. How about this? The day that you do that climb, I'll go out and climb my hill that is like right behind my house, and it's like 24%. It's something insane. You've seen videos from me where I have like all these, you know, mountains and stuff like that. Yeah, I have one. I have this. It's insane. It's basically, it's only that way for a little bit. And the whole climb itself is probably 500 meters of climbing elevation. So it's not that long, but it's super steep. And it's something like 23, 24 when it first starts up. And then it probably averages something pretty high as well, because it is pretty steep. It probably averages like, I don't know, 12 or 13 or something like that.
That's mental. That is mental.
But I mean, you're out of the side. It's actually, you really, you know, if you have the wrong bike or the wrong gearing, you're off the bike and you're pushing it up the hill.
It's gonna fall off. There's
crazy.
When I went over to see Mark Threlfall a couple of months ago, or a couple of weeks ago, he lives in a valley where there's a railway track and a canal and a river. There's this brilliant bit where there's a canal that goes over a river, which is really cool. So
it's perfect for drone footage.
Yeah, exactly that. And then, but as I was driving down to where he lives, I swear to God, the back wheels of my van were tipping up. And I said, you know, I said to him, it's a really nice place to live here. And he was like, yeah, until you realize that you have to, the only way out of here is like, I wouldn't even, it's one of those farm roads where they've cut grooves into it so that the tractors can get traction, and it's nuts. And I mean, do I really want to go up? I mean, it's like Zoncolan stuff, isn't it? I don't need to do that. Brendan's saying on here, this talk's making my legs burn. I must be out of my mind on that. I don't need to do this though. I mean, I don't need to do those. I can just go up something else. Yeah, okay. I can just go up and there's some classics like the tumble. You know, you have to kind of go up the tumble.
What if you had like a game day decision where you're like, okay, there's this route, it gets the same elevation, and then there's this one, which would be like, I know I'm gonna have to dig in a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. That's not a bad shout, actually. I could have a couple of options. I was only thinking the other day because one of the stages, which one is it? Stage 14 goes over a military road. Which I made a video about last year. It's fascinating because as you're riding along, you can hear all the gunfire going off in the, you know, where and often there's troops and tanks going past and stuff. But of course, that might actually be shut that day. So I'm gonna I think I'm definitely gonna have to have a substitute for that one, which would be a shame because it's kind of iconic road, and I'd really like to, like Harry Palmer, I mentioned to him that I couldn't ride. So the plateau at the top, to get to it from one side is like this, but to get to it from the other side is like this. And I'd intended to go this way, but then had driven up it and thought, there's no way I can ride up this. And
do you think Harry will show up with a camera?
Well, I want Harry Palmer I want to challenge Harry and a couple of his mates to see if they can ride up it. That's the challenge, because it's insane. I don't think Harry will turn up. Harry's too busy training to be a pro. He's got his pro card on the cards, isn't he?
Oh, so man,
he's plenty of racing.
Yeah, that's right. He's kind of in the mix, isn't he, to get that? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
What about meal prepping? Do you think that you're gonna like? Because I'm just thinking, you've got a family, you know, as well. It's like not, you know, it's like I'm just thinking, you know, meal prepping for those 3 weeks is gonna be important, because you've got nutrition on the bike, which I know you've started to think about, but there's also just like all the other logistics.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, I've got some plans. I mean, I was talking on Twitter to Tom Scoinge. I don't know, how do you say that? It's Scoinge. And he's been really incredibly helpful. I mean, he sent me some stuff for the raffle, some amazing kit to raffle off. But he was also saying, look, man, you know, can I help you out with any training and stuff? So I've been asking him about some bits and pieces here and there. And there have been a couple of days when I've got back from kind of training rides, and I've just felt really empty and really lethargic, and he's like, that is because you're not eating enough on the bike.
Yeah.
You know, he said, you know, whatever you are doing is not enough on those days. So I actually think a lot of the fueling is going to be from that. So, you know, like simple white carbs like wraps, and I'm not going to take tons with me, because, you know, I'm not
maybe you can load up friends, and they can, you know, be your Sherpa.
Yeah, just with panniers of ice creams and things like that.
There you go.
Yeah, I think when we get back, it's going to be a recovery shake, can of Fanta, get some rice on the go, and then just a good meal in the evening, I think, and play it by ear, and just eat what I want, I guess, but also
I just think that you probably almost need to be like rolling buffet, where you're really eating a lot on the bike.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I just think if you get in the hole on calories on one day, you're going to feel like crap the next day.
Yeah.
Especially like a 100-miler, right? Like the 100-miler should just be total rolling buffet, where it's just
eating
like
the whole time. If there's one thing I don't have a problem with, it's getting food down me. Like eating has never been an issue, as you know.
I mean,
my biggest downfall.
That's why we do this sport.
Yeah, I know, but you seem to stay trim. What I seem to do is just end up somehow training so much. I still manage to out eat my training somehow.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think if you look at like the best tour riders, it's like they know that they're going to lose weight, and it's kind of like the person that you can tell when they lose weight in that first whatever week, it's like they're not going to finish the tour. You know, It's like they're gonna have or they're gonna not finish the tour as a GC contender or whatever it is. It's just like you can just tell that some of those people, and they thin out, it's like that's it, they're gone.
Yeah, over. There's been a couple of interesting things I've watched recently on that. One was, I just caught up with Alex Dowsett's video from the Giro, the last couple that he made, and he came home early from the Giro with stomach problems, and he was saying in both videos that he was having problems keeping his weight down to begin with, and then up in the second video. And he was talking about water retention. In the end, he kind of came home because he wasn't feeling great with his stomach. And then I watched Chris Froome's video, the last one that he put out, and that's frightening. Like, that's actually quite harrowing to watch, because there's a bit where he's training, and then he has a rest day, and he's cooking an omelette that it's so small and insignificant that I'd cook double for my kids. And he's saying, you know, it's really important on a rest day that, you know, you kind of don't overeat. And I'm looking at it thinking, man, like, what, you know, he's trying to get down to, I guess, like, what, 5-6% body fat or something. And I don't know, man, like it's just that end of it is just crazy. Like how lean they get. I won't be getting that lean. I'd be happy to get down to double-digit body percentage fat. I'm pretty sure I'm in triple digits. I'm at 100% body fat.
Somehow over 100%. somehow.
Amazing. Yeah, it's 100% body fat. Like, that's my goal for the tour, is to end double the weight I started at.
There you go. That'd be great.
I spoke to Stefan earlier. He's gonna carry loads of food for me whilst he's bunny hopping curbs and pulling track stands. I said, Jenny said about the tumble. Yeah, I've never ridden up the tumble. The closest I've got to riding up the tumble was reading Geraint Thomas's book about mountains, and he mentions it in there. So I'm going to go and have a look at that next week. And is that not an easy climb then, Jenny? You'll have to tell if you've been up it. I'm judging by what you're saying in the chat that it's not an easy climb. The tumble, another easy climb with a crying emoji. Yeah, brilliant. That's filling me with great confidence. But yeah, this all seems to be working quite well. So I'm quite
yeah.
It's pretty cool. I think we'll do this on the rest days if that's all right with you, man.
Yes, this will work.
Super.
Yeah, I think. What's the first rest day?
What the date of it? That's a good question. I can find out right now. It is the first rest day.
I have it on my calendar, I think. But
Monday the 5th of July.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Monday the 5th of July. So what I might do is if it's cooled down a bit, I might do it on the turbo and set up a Zwift
awesome.
ride, and we could do like half an hour or 45 minutes on that. If not, we'll just do it like this and I'll go out for a ride earlier. The only problem with doing it that way is if we do it at 6:30, it's quite close to me riding the next day, and I kind of want to do it earlier, if you know what I mean. But
yeah,
I'm not that bothered with it. It's fine. So cool.
Yeah. I could definitely, set up my setup in front of the trainer too and ride with you on Zwift.
Well, maybe I'll put it out there and see what
this is fine too. Like, it's coffee time for me. It's beer time for you. Although you won't be having a beer, you'll be having some sort of recovery shake. But yeah, whatever you want to do, it'd be awesome. I'm looking forward to like just hearing about all of it, and I'm sure I'll try to have some questions for you, that you haven't answered in your previous videos.
No, that's great. Yeah, I don't know what questions are. I mean, there's so much going through my mind at the minute. I was only thinking today, I went out on my own today, and it was starting to go through my head because Bex had a mammogram this afternoon, so like a checkup, really, first kind of checkup since last year to sort of see how we've got on, and it's the first time we've been back to that hospital since she was diagnosed almost exactly a year ago. So all these kind of things have been going through my head, really, kind of like what the purpose of it is and why I'm doing it, and it's partially to raise money for the charity that helped us out, but it's also it's supposed to be a bit of a Kickstarter of I gave myself over to everybody here last year, and this is supposed to be a bit of a time to kind of get my head together. But you know what, I think I've done that already. I think I think that bit of it's done, and now it's just a case of that has all been done in the training, and I think now it's just a case of getting on the bike and riding around it and trying to raise as much money as I can. And that's the next step, that with the fundraising bit. I think when it gets started, people might start sharing it a bit more because I'm actually doing it, whereas at the minute I'm not doing anything, I'm just training. But every penny that I've raised so far, if I scroll through the people that have donated, I know pretty much every single person. It's all a very partisan group of people that have raised nearly $6,000. What I need to do is kind of get that out there to more people, so that I don't know the people that are donating. There's got to be 100 people in the UK that will donate 10 quid, that I don't know, and I've got to try and find those people and get it to them. And
maybe talk about that in some of the videos too, where it's like, I'm not asking you to give $50. I'm asking you to give 10 quid, right? Like, just a little bit will help.
Yeah,
I think people might be able to make the leap over to the giving page and make that happen, because it's just not as big of a deal.
No,
especially if they get hooked on watching you for 3 weeks. So
that's the thing. I don't know what to do. And that was the other thing that was crossing my mind today, was kind of like, what do I do each day? You're kind of filming stuff, and you kind of get, because I've got to do a daily video every single day. So I'm going to get back, and I'm trying to be as organized as I can. I've got this box for all the stuff that's in my jersey pocket. So I come in and I put that in there, and I've got all my charger cables all bunched together so that everything just gets charged straight away. And all of the SD cards from all of the cameras go in. So whilst I'm having a shower, they're all, getting put on a hard drive, so that when I've done that, I can eat and then I can get straight on with making the video. And then I'm like, what do I put in the video? Like,
I think you just have something like canned, where it's like, here's the canned intro, here's some video clips, and then you just basic talking about how it went, and like you'll have plenty of B-roll footage to drop on top of that, and just like, done is better than perfect. Have your setup locked and loaded with all your settings preset. Don't do what I did last night and have some sort of messed up setting where your audio is messed up and your video frame rates are off. It's a mess.
But that's how it goes, and you got it done, didn't you? And that's the bottom line. But yeah, my friend Mark, he's a composer. I worked with him at uni, but I've known him for years, and I asked him to make me a kind of a pastiche, not a Muzak version, but like a pastiche of the 80s Channel 4 Tour de France theme tune. And what he's made,
oh, that's cool,
is just so good. I can't wait to like release it on the world. So I'm gonna cool. One of the things you were saying about the kind of taper week, one of the things I'm going to do in the taper week is I'm going to go I'm going to go with a friend of mine, Belinda, who I haven't asked whether she'll help me out yet, but she's just graduated as a filmmaker, and go and shoot a load of B-roll stuff and then make the intro so that it's kind of done, and just get everything templated up. So I just drop the footage in and stuff. But it's just like, that's
that could work.
Yeah. And what's this? I think we just love to see the parts where you've been, just like the main tour. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I mean, I love the area around here. All the bits and pieces, the little bits of history and stuff. So maybe I need to kind of just have something for each stage that's kind of interesting about where we are. I love that as well when kind of Rob Hatch or Matt Stevens is talking about kind of, these chateaus and stuff like that. Maybe
Do you have someone that'll fly the drone for you?
This is the biggest issue. Yeah, that's going to be
so hard,
time consuming, man. Like, just, isn't it? That's the trouble with it, is the kind of like, I can fly it, but but how do I do that when I'm trying to ride? And I don't really want to stop. Like, I kind of, I don't want it to turn into like a coffee ride thing. I want it to be, a continuous ride where I just, maybe stop to fill the bottles up or something. And I don't really want to have to stop. So I don't know what I might do.
Over the next couple of weeks, grab some canned, get some canned like sunrise, sunset footage. And, mostly you're riding kind of that mid-morning or whatever it is, but you can still show like early morning setup. You could get some canned stuff of you clipping into the, just all that stuff is so good that you can use it kind of anywhere. And it kind of at least gives people like that feeling of, they would say like opening shot is, you're establishing your location. And so it's like that kind of feeling where it's like, oh, here's where we are. And then detail shots of like you clipping in, the bike chain, the components. I think that stuff is beautiful. And I just think you could do that stuff now and mix it in wherever.
And the other nice thing is the fact that I know a lot of the routes really well. So in the 2 weeks leading up to, when I'm just having fun and kind of just relaxing, I can take the drone with me then. And if I'm going up Cheddar Gorge, we can get some footage of me riding up Cheddar Gorge. I can, we can jump in the van with the bike and drive around some of these places and get that. And when they feature in the stage, I'll drop that in because I've got the kit I'm going to be wearing. I know what I'm going to be wearing. So, I think that'll be the way to do it, and it won't make any difference. But I'd love to, it would be so nice each day to have, some drone shots of the people that I'm riding with as well. But I think that'll be something else, with these two mics that I've got, like I did with Mark Threlfall. And I'm riding with some like super interesting people. Like at stage 2, I'm riding with one of the founders of the charity that I'm raising money for. He contacted me and just said, look, and weirdly, not weirdly, I mean, but he donated like for it, but it was kind of odd because he's donating to his own charity. But, he's a good bike rider. And I kind of, I rode the stage that I'm riding with him today as a recon. And I really want to know a little bit more about, that stuff, and I think there's going to be some people that I just want to talk to and kind of get some chat stuff with them. And there's some fascinating people, Stefan and Jenny. They're all really interesting people. Jenny's a physio, and she's had loads of experience of working with injuries. And Stefan's got an amazing kind of history and a background to him as well. And and the thing we've all got in common is the bike riding. And I think that's the thing to kind of tap into. I think when you kind of read Mark Beaumont's books or you watch his documentaries, you know, the people that he's talking about that he comes across, you know, it doesn't matter if he's in Afghanistan or Pakistan or Baluchistan or wherever he's riding through, you know, people are on bikes, and it's like that's the connection that you have. And yeah, I think there'll be something to talk about each day.
I actually think you're going to have too much content. In fact, it's going to be hard to whittle it down, because if you do, you know, 20-minute videos, that's a lot of time in the editing room. So
yeah, and the unfortunate thing about that is they're going to have to be like you know, next day videos, you know,
right. And the story's so good though, you're going to want to tell all of it. It's just going to be tricky to make that much content.
Yeah, it will be, but I have to sort of, I think I'll hit a stride with it as well. We'll see how it goes. It'll be fun.
Right.
It'll be fun.
Well, that is awesome. I'm really looking forward to
mate.
Following along. Hopefully the live stream worked okay for us. You know, I'll try to be a little bit, you know, I think maybe 10 to 15 minutes early setup, just so we can talk, make sure audio's corrected and all that stuff, because that always takes a minute. So
it does. And I think at one point there was like 11 people watching, which is 11 more than I expected to do.
Perfect.
Yeah. Next time, maybe get some questions in from, I was kind of hoping, that there might be, but once I've started, maybe there'll be some more questions. But great. Thanks, mate. Well, let's call it a day there, and you can go and finish your coffee, and I'll go and make some tea for the kids. Going camping tomorrow, so I've got to pack the van up now. All
right.
Sounds good. Pick the Boardman out and see if the chain still works on it. So thanks for watching, team. I appreciate it. Matt, thanks ever so much for your time, man.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks, talk to you soon.
See you later.
Bye.